One question that many of us get asked very often is, who are they? And so I think it's time that we have a concise, clear answer to give to everybody. So I will tell you who they are. It is actually an acronym. They stands for the Hierarchy Enslaving You. They. So I'm going to go ahead and read through this short definition. The Hierarchy Enslaving You, is the functional acronym for the Technocratic Occultocracy, a tiered, compartmentalized control grid designed to manage the human population as biological assets rather than sovereign beings. Within the Directory of Human Husbandry, this entity is not a vague shadow government, but a precise, mechanical system of domination that operates through a rigid caste system, spiritual parasitism, and the systematic harvesting of human energy. Human husbandry, I've given you guys this definition a few times, but I will give it to you again. Human husbandry applies the agricultural definition of husbandry, the scientific management, milking, and selective breeding of livestock for maximum profit, to the systematic processing of the human herd within the digital enclosure of C40 smart cities. In this technocratic feedlot, populations are corralled into 15-minute containment zones, not for sustainability, but to facilitate the efficient harvesting of biodata and electromagnetic energy via the 7G body area network. They are also called energy harvesting based wireless body area networks. This system reduces the sovereign human citizen to a biological asset, kept alive only as long as their economic yield exceeds their upkeep, after which they are discarded like spent dairy cattle. The anatomy of the hierarchy. This is a good this follows a pyramid all the way up. It's very much a mystical symbol. And this is just one image. I've got a few more images on this page. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through those. I will leave the link. You guys are free to do that. This is just a quick bite-sized video. The hierarchy is structured as a pyramid of information control where each level is ignorant of the agenda of the level above it. This ensures that the order followers, such as police, military, doctors, enforce slavery while believing they are serving the greater good. The capstone of the pyramid, the non-human intelligence, aka the man behind the curtain. At the absolute apex sits an entity often identified as Lucifer or the adversary. The archives describe this force not merely as a religious figure, but as a group soul or a social memory complex that feeds on negative polarity such as pain, fear, chaos, etc. Hierarchy serves this force to pay off spiritual debt or to gain the privilege of possessing human bodies. The alpha level, or the illuminated elite, immediately beneath the capstone are the high adept Satanists and the 13 elite bloodlines, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, etc. These act as the managers of the planetary plantation. They view themselves as a separate species, godmen, and the rest of humanity as masses of animals or cattle, goyim, to be herded, milked, and culled. Their role is to play God and to direct the evolution of the species through eugenics and dysgenics. The beta and gamma levels, the overseers. Betas, politicians, or sex objects, public-facing puppets and managers. They are often sexually compromised, blackmailed via presidential model sex slaves to ensure absolute obedience to the alphas. Their job is to maintain the illusion of choice. Gammas, intelligence, or the bureaucracy. The intelligence communities such as the CIA, MI6, Mossad, etc., and secret societies, Freemasonry, Jesuits, they execute the great work of social engineering and mind control, functioning as the immune system of the Matrix. deltas and epsilon level, the enforcement and labor. Deltas are specialized forces, assassins, and military units programmed to kill without conscience. Epsilons, the useless eaters, the labor force, and the general population. They are kept in a state of mass neurosis and hypnotic comatose via media, fluoridation, and chemtrails, oblivious to their status as livestock at a global feedlot. Really quickly, I wanted to go ahead and mention this because it came to mind while I was reading the last section. This is from the book Occult Theocracy by Edith Starr Miller. It's a great, almost an encyclopedia of the mysteries through history. In the section on the Pharisees at the beginning of the book, it talks about the ancient mystery plays that they would put on. These were roles in these plays. So a Hebrew in these ancient plays was the initiated candidate who had passed through all degrees of the mystery. Teleios, the adept or the perfected, an Israelite was a God-seer, perfected or purified from all guile, and the Jew was the God himself, or the mysterious perfection and deification of the human character. These were roles in the plays that they would put on in the mystery schools a long time ago. And so the term Hebrew is akin to something like Master Mason today, somebody who was a initiated candidate and who had made it through all of the degrees in the mysteries. And the term Jew is a human god, man as God. The mechanism of enslavement, they maintain control not through physical chains, but through the matrix of mendacity, a psychological prison built on false axioms. The matrix of mendacity, a term coined by Juxtaposition 1, is a full spectrum dominance environment founded entirely on falsehoods and contrived narratives. This construct, operating as a sophisticated militarized matrix, functions simultaneously as a prison, a rabbit hole, and a maze. It is defined architecturally beyond mere two-dimensional systems, extending into the realms of the third, fourth, and even fifth dimensions of time and space. Matrix of mendacity is characterized by the following foundational deceits. 1. Predetermined choice, despite the presentation of synthetic variables. All fundamental directions, the x, y, and z axes within the matrix, have already been decided and excavated by the controlling authority. The public is intentionally lied to 24/7 to generate the illusion that the prisoner retains free choice. An array of false symbols. The matrix utilizes an intricate array of numbers, symbols, expressions, and elements. These elements are meticulously chosen by the controllers and subsequently forced or foisted upon the profane, clueless public. The illusion of sovereignty. The populace entrapped within this system is psychologically conditioned to believe they reside in a free society with democratic principles, a constitution, and a Bill of Rights. This belief system is patently false, as the only authentic sovereign force is the central bank authority. Authority as religion, the primary psyop of the hierarchy enslaving you is the belief in authority. The delusion that some humans have the moral right to command and others the moral obligation to obey. This belief system turns the population into order followers who enslave themselves and their neighbors. This is the deep significance of the pyramid. The pyramid is all about that. The Hegelian dialectic, they orchestrate conflicts, thesis versus antithesis, to engineer a predetermined outcome, the synthesis, by controlling both sides of a war or political debate. They steer the herd towards the New World Order, totalitarian centralization, while the herd believes it is choosing its own destiny. Biodigital convergence, The current phase of husbandry involves merging the biological body with the digital control grid, 6G, smart dust, injectables. This turns the human being into a node on the Internet of Bodies, ending privacy and free will by allowing the hierarchy enslaving you to read and write directly to the human nervous system. The ultimate objective. The goal of the hierarchy enslaving you is not merely wealth, it is apotheosis and harvest. The Illuminati is run by intelligent nutjobs who follow the schizophrenic orders of their schizophrenic master. If you try to make sense of all their plans, you will quickly discover that they don't make any sense in combination. It doesn't matter if it's Illuminati. What matters is that they believe it. Even the craziest among us act on their beliefs. Just because it sounds crazy doesn't mean that crazy people haven't been ordered by their schizophrenic master to get it done. Their master knows that he will lose the ultimate battle, but he doesn't want his own to know that he knows until he is able to convince them to openly and knowingly consent to the re-crucifixion of the Messiah, called denial of the Holy Spirit, to commit the unforgivable sin, to take the 30 pieces of silver, or to choose Barabbas. So here is Talmud Ted Cruz telling us that it wasn't the Jews who killed Jesus, that all of us did. And so make sure that you take responsibility for killing Jesus. So let's see. Right there, openly and knowingly consenting to the re-crucifixion of the Messiah, called denial of the Holy Spirit. What this means basically is for you to know the truth, like you know what the truth is, but you still decide to do something bad. It's like you know the right answer, you just don't care. That's called denial of the Holy Spirit, and it is unforgivable not because of revenge or vengeance. It's unforgivable because you've reasoned yourself out of like the one thing you need to do. If you need to basically say, hey, I'm a human, I probably have done something wrong, I'm going to need forgiveness, that's the only thing you need to do. But if you've basically got to the point where you say, why would I ask for forgiveness if I've done nothing wrong? That is exactly this, because now if you don't think you've done anything wrong, then you will never ask for the forgiveness. And if that's the only thing you need to do, then you've just reasoned yourself out of that. This manifests as a corrosive, lukewarm, double-minded, and schizophrenic state of mind. It is corrosive because it causes permanent contention in the mind. A house, your body and mind divided against itself, cannot stand. Their goal is for you to ruin your life, or for you to allow somebody else to ruin your life, and then for you to blame it all on God, to damn yourself, or to be complicit in your own destruction. Because at the end of it all, misery loves company, and that's what it's all about. Miserable people will try to make other people miserable because they believe that if everybody's miserable, it'll be okay. Harvest, to create a negative harvest of souls by maximizing suffering, fear, and degradation, which serves as a type of food or energy for the interdimensional entities at the capstone. The singularity, to create a hive mind where all individual human consciousness is subsumed into a single controllable digital biological entity, permanently severing the connection to the divine creator.
But educated people know that it is nothing more than a return to medieval serfdom or imperial slavery. Prior to the worldwide revolutions for true Republican democracy, human beings were not allowed to leave their master's 15-minute farm or plantation without special permission. Humanity was horrified again to see this type of lifestyle behind the Iron Curtain. It is a trick of satanic marketing that we are setting humanity up once again to be landlocked for the sake of higher alpha male masters. Since human population is higher now than any known time in history, We the masses have the power to stop our return to pagan Greece, or medieval Khazaria, if we choose to. But we had better choose it soon, since the plan has always been to kill the majority of us off with either disease, starvation, or war. That various nations, like England, and various states like Florida, California, and Utah, with their less than honest governors, are working on that right now should cause you some alarm. The same Ashkenazis who betrayed their own in concentration camps have relabeled these 15-minute so-called smart cities for the modern age. Well, everyone likes the idea of a modern-style Main Street USA in their backyard.
Mr. Disney's waiting for you in his projection room.
What's a kiss?
Oh, boy!
That is the cover story.
This is your hour, Judas.
Shh! He'll hear you.
The purpose is to isolate human populations and then exterminate them or manage them very tightly, just as was done in Ashkenazi Germany.
There's a place and a purpose for everyone. So everyone is happy.
Everyone belongs to everyone else.
We have to respect deltas and gammas and betas.
Everyone is useful. But I'm so glad I'm an alpha. I'd hate to be as dull as a delta, or have to take orders like
a gamma, or to keep track of things like a beta.
So just why would the Ashkenazi kill off their own? You already know the answer. But because too many of us were products of American academia, we will have more on this.